Welcome, Arizona Cardinals fans, to the latest episode of the Revenge of the Birds wrap-up show. I'm your host, Seth Cox. With me tonight, my co-host and lead writer for RevengeOfTheBirds.com, Tyler Nickel. Tyler, we're drinking. The Cardinals are 1-3, and Carson Palmer is out with a concussion, and they play on Thursday night in San Francisco.
Should be a fun one. Drew Stanton starting quarterback. Zach Dicer probably going to get called up from the practice squad, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, unless Palmer can get cleared really fast, but I
don't see any way. I legit don't see, and this isn't even like being a pessimist. I don't see any way they let him play.
No.
They still have to look at it that they can be 1-4 and win 11 games in a row and go 12-4.
Yeah, it'll probably be Drew Stanton back there, and then he'll probably drop back 45 times, and then Dave Johnson will carry it about 10 to 12 times. Sound about right?
Well, that was, we saw a little bit today again. The dreaded throw the ball 47 times against the Los Angeles Rams while you're running the ball at 4.5 yards per clip. The game plan didn't make a ton of sense. We talked about it during the game. In the first quarter, even, they ran the ball, I think 5 or 6 plays in a row, just moved down the field, and then threw a first down play, or I think it was the second drive.
Yeah, first one.
Got the ball into St. Louis territory, and then threw the ball, then got a holding penalty, so then they threw the ball 2 times more, and it was just kind of what the game was. This was a game where the Cardinals, I don't know. You start to wonder, were we giving this team too much credit based on what they did last year as opposed to what they brought back this year, which I know was a lot of similar things, but, every year in the NFL is different, right?
Yeah, it is. But I think it made sense that we were hoping they were going to be good again, just because they were bringing back most of the same pieces. Guys were coming back, like Marcus Golden were coming back with a year of experience under their belt. They get Chandler Jones. They get Evan Mathis. I think the optimism was warranted, but we're starting to see this team just doesn't have something, and I don't know if that's the mental fortitude, the longevity. Is Carson Palmer falling off that steep cliff that quarterbacks all seem to fall off because Mother Time is undefeated? Father Time. I call her Mother Time. That's weird. I don't know. There's a lot of different questions. Honey Badger isn't playing like he did. Buchanan not playing like he did. You got a bunch of guys underperforming. Very few guys overperforming, other than maybe Fitz and Chandler Jones. Who else, really? It's just kind of been a lot of everybody falling off the cliff at the same time on that team.
And it kind of goes to the fact that this team, something I talked about a lot in the offseason, right after the loss and everything, was that they can win with Carson Palmer as a quarterback, but they can't win because of Carson Palmer. And it still seems like that's the game plan every week going in, is that we're going to, we are going to live and die by Carson Palmer in the game he has. And he's had, some nice games. New England was a nice game. Obviously had a nice game against Tampa Bay. But then he's had a couple iffy games, especially last week in Buffalo. Now this week, 24 for 36, 288 yards, a touchdown, another interception, sacked 3 times. And it was just, he was under duress all day. And we've known since the word go that if Palmer's under duress, he's not the same quarterback.
Right.
And that was the key today. And it's interesting that they abandoned the run again. I don't want to say abandoned the run, but they didn't lean on the running game. Chris Johnson got hurt after only 6 carries. He was producing really well, 34 yards. So almost 6 yards a carry. And still we see them dropping back time after time after time after time to throw passes against maybe the best front four in the NFL. and utilizing an offensive line that's, let's face it, hasn't been very good through 4 games.
Right. And I know we've talked about this, but this offensive line is built to run the ball. Evan Mathis is known as a superior run blocker, iffy in pass protection. Mike Upati, one of the best run blocking guards in the game, pass protection's iffy. Jared Valdir, better run blocker than pass protector. I mean, I can keep going down the list. And then you put DJ Humphries in his first year as a starter up against guys like Aaron Donald and Robert Quinn. I mean, that you were bound to run into disaster that way. And, I mean, I know you mentioned that they have one of the best defensive lines in the NFL. Well, maybe against the pass, but against the run, they're very susceptible to giving up big gains. And for some reason, the team just got away from doing that. And you would think, I mean, I get the Stanton coming in and throwing bombs just because they had to get back in the game. And so he had to throw it every down. So I'm not going to hold, his 11 pass attempts against him. But Carson Palmer still had 36 by himself. I mean, in a game like this, you would think he'd be in the low 20s, maybe mid-20s in terms of pass attempts. And you get David Johnson 25 carries, and then between Chris Johnson and Ellington, another 10, 15 carries. So I don't know.
And you look at it, the Rams ran the ball 23 times, 19 with Todd Gurley, and they couldn't run a lick.
Right.
Cardinals only ran the ball 25 times. Again, only 17 with David Johnson, 6 with Chris Johnson. Andre Ellington got the 1 carry that was super effective that we saw. Offensively, I've talked about it ad nauseum. This team's not right. It hasn't been right since the first game. Even that 40-point blowout, they didn't look right, or the 33-point blowout. But now, the last 2 weeks, we've seen that, it's a real issue. And now they might be without Palmer on Thursday. They're going to be without Palmer on Thursday night. I mean, I'm just making this educated guess here, but they're going to be without Palmer on Thursday night. Could this be a blessing in disguise, though, that makes Bruce Arians lean on David Johnson?
I mean, maybe, but I'm just going to stack the box anyways. If Stanton's at quarterback, he hasn't shown that he can be effective in anything other than just little dump-offs all game. And I don't know. I don't know if they're going to have the opportunity to just solely rely on David Johnson to create plays because he's going to be going up against 8-man fronts.
The shine on the defense came off Marcus Cooper this week. 2 touchdown passes given up to Brian Quick. Both of them, again, we talked about this after his first game against Tampa Bay. Good position, but I think his work on the ball is why he was out of Kansas City and being looked at as a safety in Kansas City. And you saw it tonight or today, this afternoon. He's in a position, he just doesn't make plays on the ball. We talked about it after that Tampa game. Both those interceptions weren't because he made great plays on the ball. The first one was because he was in a trail technique and James Winston basically threw him the pass like he was the wide receiver. The second one was a nice play on the ball that was batted and in the air, but it wasn't as though he had to make a play in a one-on-one situation against a guy. And then you look at the pass rush. Jones and Golden got home again. They made Keenum move around a lot, but this was Case Keenum's second best game of his career, I think I read, statistically speaking.
Yeah.
What's up with his defense?
I mean, I wish I could. Golden only got home because Calais Campbell made the play, by the way. So I don't know if we can count. I know Marcus Golden now has a sack in every game, but again, how effective have those sacks been most of the time? Can you even remember great plays that he made because of his sacks, like how they turned the tide of a game? I feel like Chandler Jones did that today with his sack fumble, and that might have been his first one of the season where it was super effective. But other than that, I really feel like everyone on that defense is underperforming. I mean, you look at Calais has played, his typical Calais. He's been average. He's been maybe a little above average. And then nobody else is performing. Kevin Minter gets lost in coverage still, even though he lost a bunch of weight, as he claimed. Buchanan hasn't been the same. Peterson's getting defensive holding calls against him. Matthew is invisible, which I think is the biggest key to why that defense isn't playing up to their capabilities. And then, I don't know, I just feel like there's something not clicking, and I don't know what it is.
I mean, the good that came out of this game, if you want to put silver linings and things, they ran the ball really, really well. Again, you talked about it. Their offensive line is built to run the ball, and they ran the ball extremely well. 4.7 yards per carry, 4.9 for DJ, 5.7 for Chris Johnson. And the defense completely shut down the Rams' rushing attack. I mean, Todd Gurley averaged 1.7 yards per carry. So, you look at it from that standpoint, they should be in a good position next week if they choose to run the ball and, they can stop the run against San Francisco. Even without Carson Palmer, you could be still looking at 2-3. Just the way the season's going, I mean, it feels like it's 1-4 coming down the pike, but it is San Francisco. They're not really a very good team.
Yeah, but neither were the Rams, and neither were the Patriots without Tom Brady and Gronk. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I feel like maybe this team underestimates their competition because of the level they got to last year. I don't know how they're going to react under Drew Stanton with him under center. I don't know how the team feels about it. I'm curious to see how they rally around him, or if they rally around him. It's going to be an interesting game, especially on a short week, that's for sure.
Well, if you're drinking Cardinals fans, it's okay. I am too. So it's been a rough first 4 weeks, but hopefully this week in San Francisco, Thursday night football game, 5:30 Arizona time. We'll try to be back Thursday night. We'll see what happens, though. I'm not sure. You're going to be in San Francisco, actually, aren't you?
San Francisco, no.
I thought you said you were going to the game.
No.
Oh, you're not going to play quarterback this week?
No. Oh, yeah. I think I might be the backup quarterback. And if Stanton doesn't play good, I might get in there. We'll see.
So
hey,
we'll try to
have a game.
John Brown had a good game. Like I said, DJ had a really nice game. Larry Fitzgerald continues to be good. Chandler Jones, Marcus Golden, sacks. There were good things that occurred within the game, but obviously the result 1-3, last place in the NFC West, and Carson Palmer being in the concussion protocol now. Those are the big sticking points. There's nothing really else to talk about when it comes to this game. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
So that'll be it from us. We'll be back hopefully Thursday night. We'll see. Maybe it'll be Friday and recap hopefully a Cardinals win this time. So thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll be back next week.